Is it May of 2019 yet? Because I need Avengers 4 like the DCEU needs a reboot.
Shots fired! Shots fired!
Seriously, just reboot that thing. All jokes aside, Infinity War left me needing more. I need to see the conclusion. How are the heroes going to fight a fully gauntleted Thanos? What kind of incredible visuals will that entail? And what else does Marvel have planned? These are questions that I need answered. In this video, I'm going over 3 different theories I have about things that will likely happen in Avengers 4. This will, of course, entail spoilers for Infinity War, so get out of here unless you've seen that movie. What is up, YouTube? It's Josh. This is the Den of Nerds. If you love the Marvel movies, subscribe to this channel. We're going to be cranking out a bunch of content on the way to Avengers 4. Before we get into this, I need to shout out KC Shine, who got the nerd card question correct in my top 5 scenes in Infinity War video. So shout out to you, Casey. We'll do another nerd card question at the end of this video. All right, one last time before we get into this. This, of course, has spoilers for Infinity War, so you gotta be okay with that if you go from here. Okay, so I need to nerd out a little bit about just what a crazy and truly special thing Marvel has just done. I mean, I am in the camp that that ending is tragic and bold. I know that it'll probably be undone, but I still think to spend like $400 million on a pick movie that kills all of your main characters and leaves no real conclusion, yeah, that's bold. Now we wait for part 2 to see how this will all play out. And honestly, this year is going to be pretty crazy. I'm a big fan of film as an art form, and I'm a big fan of pop culture and just business in general. And I think this is truly an unprecedented time in cinema. I mean, media is kind of changing. Attention seems to be really funneling on some certain properties and certain things. But obviously, even within that paradigm and space, there are people doing it well and there are people doing it not well at all. Marvel has just knocked it out of the proverbial park. I mean, Infinity War is insane. Everybody is talking about this movie. In fact, a story just broke about Fortnite, which is, of course, the most popular game on the planet, maybe the most popular game ever. That game is doing a crossover with Infinity War. You actually get to possibly play as Thanos. It's pretty crazy. We actually covered it on the Den of Nerds Gaming, so go over to that channel, check that video out, consider giving it a subscribe. The point is, Infinity War is on this crazy pop culture phenomenon level, and everybody in the world is now waiting to see what will happen next. I mean, Infinity War 2, or whatever they're going to call it, is going to be the biggest movie of all time, because what's going to happen in this year is a lot of people that were on the fence about the Marvel movies, or like late adapters as they're called, they are going to catch on. They are literally going to get hyped for the second Infinity War movie. So it's going to be even bigger than it was the first go around. So I just wanted to address that. It truly feels special. I'm pumped. I mean, it's an awesome time to be a nerd right now. Real quick too, I want to address some of the things people are saying about the film in a negative light. There's a lot of, whenever something happens and it's really cool, there's always going to have haters. And to be honest with you, the film's not perfect. It's not a flawless movie, but there are some criticisms of it that I think are just whack. Number one is this whole thing about the characters coming back. It's like, oh, we know the characters are going to come back, so it's really not that cool that they died. It just feels sort of contrived. It feels like a way to just get everyone excited. And to you people, I say you are absolutely crazy. Consider the fact that this movie will be seen by a lot of people that haven't seen very many of the other Marvel movies at all. In fact, for a lot of people out there, I'm sure this will be the first Marvel movie they ever see. This is a Disney film, and they have literally marketed these movies over the past 10 years to a young audience. For Disney to do that and then kill all of these characters in really, truly a shocking and brutal way. The dissolving, the disintegration is crazy, and the memes are great as well. We, of course, know that they're coming back. We, of course, know that the heroes are going to beat Thanos, but when people come at contrived plots like this or just say that they're formulaic, I will say that, yeah, you're absolutely right. In fact, fact, the formula that they are following is the Marvel formula of storytelling. I love Marvel comics. I've been reading them for a long time, and one of my favorite Stan Lee quotes is him talking about the Marvel formula for hero story. He said, "The secret to a great Marvel story is putting the heroes in a situation in which you have no idea how they could possibly come out on top." Now, you sort of know that they will come out on top because they are the heroes. The hero's going to win. They're going to vanquish the villain. But you don't know how, and you almost can't see a possible way for it to happen. So that's the formula. So yeah, even though we know these characters are coming back and we know that Thanos is going to win, we have no idea how that will actually play out. It feels like an impossibility. That is the magic of the formula. This is why people are calling this movie the Empire Strikes Back of our time. All right, so let me talk about these 3 things I think we'll see in Avengers 4 for sure. So the number one thing that I think will be different about the next film is that the story will be expanded. I think it's going to go wider and deeper. I don't know if you know this or not, but there was a lot of Thanos' backstory that was actually cut from Infinity War Part 1. To be completely honest, I'm sure there's a ton of stuff that was cut for Infinity War Part 1. I mean, there's so many different characters. I'm sure they shot all sorts of different scenes. And when you go to edit a monster narrative like that with just so many different characters and perspectives, it can be very, very tough. In the name of keeping that narrative tight and getting all of the pieces into it, I think they sacrificed a lot of small moments that would have filled in the story a bit more. That's actually maybe the one complaint that I have about the film in sincerity is like, wow, you don't really even get a chance to breathe in that movie. I would have liked to spend a little more time in certain select parts of that narrative. And in Avengers 4, I think that's what's going to happen. I mean, they're sort of narrowing the perspective of the story anyways. It's the original Avengers. So you go from that crazy 30, 40, 60 characters, whatever it actually was, down to about 5 to 8. And they are not all going to be on screen together at the same time, so you really get to have more intimate moments with these characters. I mean, Thanos is not coming back to Earth. They're going to have to go to him, and I think a lot of the story is going to focus on how they are going to go about doing that. We know that Tony Stark's going to be very important to that. I am in the camp that Captain Marvel's going to be very important to that as well, because she's been out in space. She probably has connections to aliens, spaceships, perhaps even stuff that Earth had that Fury was keeping a secret that could get them into space, all sorts of different things like that. The next thing that I think we are definitely getting in Avengers 4 is a more intimate film. So not only are we hanging out with the original Avengers, but you have to realize what they just went through was absolutely tragic. So it's not just the fact that Tony and Steve are going to have to work together. It's the fact that they're going to have to work together and they just watched all of their friends die. They lost. It was up to them to protect these people. They failed. And beyond that, if they want even a chance to change things around, they're going to have to go on and do the next to impossible. And so, for them to actually succeed, I mean, the stakes are so high, they're going to have to bring their best and lean on each other and the strengths that they have. A lot of people are anticipating this to be the swan song for a lot of the original Avengers, and I tend to agree. I mean, even though we lost a lot of people in Infinity War, I think those people might be coming back in some capacity. However, this whole story is going to take some lives. It's going to take some blood, and I think the original Avengers are all on the chopping block now. I don't think Tony's making it out. I don't think Steve is making it out. What's really cool about this is that I thought they were going to go out in Infinity War Part 1, but if they had, without more time with them and figuring this out, it would have felt a little hollow. It would have just felt like they're scratching names off the list, passing the baton, just getting ready for the next phase. It's awesome that now we get to focus on them and just get those moments with them before we say goodbye. So I think this film is going to be incredibly intimate, and that is another big change from Part 1 to Part 2. The number 3 thing that I think we can be pretty sure is coming in Avengers 4 is the fact that Tony Stark is going to play a key role. We have to remember, and it will probably be pointed out to you a million times in the next year, but Doctor Strange talked about that one outcome. He went ahead in time and saw 14,605 different outcomes of the coming conflict. There was only one in which they won, and this is the scenario that is playing out right now. This is why Doctor Strange makes the sacrifice, gives up the time stone. He knows that Tony Stark is incredibly important to this role. There's also this amazing fact that Thanos knows Tony Stark, right? That's absolutely insane. He says that you're not the only one that has been cursed with knowledge. He certainly knew who Stark was, and it had to do with the visions that they were both having. Now, I've seen a lot of different people online talking about how Thanos just knew who Tony was because of research. They don't think there was some shared vision, some cosmic linking of their minds, and I would totally disagree. I mean, what would be the point of the visions from Age of Ultron that Tony receives? What would be the point unless they were linked to some cosmic fabric? And I truly believe Thanos wouldn't just say, you're not the only one burdened with knowledge. I mean, who says stuff like that? Not even Thanos says stuff like that. It means something. He and Tony are linked in some way, and I believe that that link and the fact that Thanos knows Tony is just one more sign that Tony Stark is playing some significant role in how this will all play out. We've also seen those crazy leaked photographs of the Avengers in their original Avenger garb. We know that this is linked to the barf technology that Tony Stark created in Civil War. He's going to be using technology. He's going to be doing something that I think will be absolutely nuts, and this will be able to give them an advantage over Thanos. Tony Stark is going to be significant to how this all plays out. To me, this is absolutely amazing. I mean, it all began with Tony Stark. To me, to end it all, an era, an arc, a huge tapestry of dopeness, to end that with the character that started it all is poetic. And so we can be damn sure that that is what is going to happen in Avengers 4. Those are my thoughts. I want to know your thoughts. Do you agree that these three things are obviously going to be happening in Avengers 4? Is there anything else you can think of that you definitely know will happen in Avengers 4? Let's talk about it in the comments section below. All right, let's check that nerd card really quickly. I want to know, what was the name of that planet where the Soul Stone was? This was that super dope moment in Infinity War with the Red Skull. I want to know, what was the name of that planet? You can click below to watch more dope videos, and you can click our icon to subscribe to get all of our future content. As I always say, I hope you're having an awesome and nerdy day, and I will see you in the next video.